Hey everybody! So in this video, we are going to talk about a question we get asked a lot. And that is about how we experience sleep and dreaming. Now, understand that this is just our personal experience, and while some of these things may apply to others with DID, some of them may not. Every system is unique and individual, and every experience is valid. Before we start, we wanted to thank all of our subscribers and all of our commenters, and let you know that we really appreciate all of you so very much. And to let all of you know that we have an Instagram account now, which is up at the top in the links, and you can check out some different drawings the different system members have done, and pictures that they have made of themselves using computer software. So if you'd like to check any of that out, feel free. So let's get started. Now, sleep can be a tough thing for us. And the reason for that is because when we were kids, there was me as the daytime host, and then we had a nighttime host. Her name is Allie, and she age slides from the ages of 3 to the age of 11. And Allie still greatly impacts nighttime activity, even when she doesn't directly come out. She is often very scared because she has suffered very serious trauma. And she lives in a constant state of flashbacks. Her age slides depending on what flashback she's living in. And what that means is that there's a lot of resistance to going to bed. A lot. And that can make it really, really hard to get good, decent sleep. Plus, it just leads to a lot of distress for her, which we really don't want. We've been working on some different techniques to try to help her, but it's unfortunately slower going than we would like. But that's not the only reason sleep is difficult for us. The other reason is because we all have very different energy levels. For me, I need to go to bed at about 9 o'clock to really feel rested. Marie and some of the other teenagers can go to bed at midnight and be fine. Berserker doesn't need to sleep at all. So, even though our body requires sleep, she would not feel tired when she's out here. Of course, when somebody else switched out, they would be exhausted if she stayed up all night, which is why she does not do that in the body. She stays up inside and keeps an eye on things to make sure that everything is safe. But she's well aware that our body does require sleep. So she doesn't come out here and just stay up all night long. Unless we absolutely had to, and it was a safety concern, of course, which there were unfortunately times that did happen. But nowadays, we all have to kind of negotiate. You know, who is out? How much sleep do they need? How much sleep do I need? What's an okay compromise? Especially because I have to get up in the mornings with my daughter to help take care of her. You know, I have to be able to be awake earlier in the morning. So I need to be able to get good sleep. They need to be able to have time to do the things they want to do. So it's all a big negotiation game, basically. We're all taking votes and having meetings with anybody that we can communicate with. Now, dreaming is very interesting for us. Because in our case, when someone goes to sleep in the body, they're not necessarily the person who stays the one in control of the body. We will often switch in our sleep without ever actually waking up. And that means that who is dreaming will change throughout the night. Like, say, I put the body to bed, and I'm having a dream that I'm talking to some old friends, and then I switch with someone else, and now they're having a dream about something completely different that has to do with them, and I'm watching this dream, like an outside perspective. And this can happen several times throughout the night. Once in a while, we do actually have system members get up, go do things. That has lessened as we've gotten better communication and as we've talked about the needs of our body and how to stay healthy and, good sleep habits and all that. But it does still happen from time to time. And that's always interesting because I'm not aware of it at all because I'm asleep. I have no idea what's been going on or what anybody has been doing. And that's always really weird to wake back up to and be like, oh, well, what were we doing? And I'm not the only one who could be the one to wake up in the morning either. We've had plenty of instances where other members of the system were the one to wake up in the morning and get dressed and start doing things. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, hey, what are we doing? What's going on? And, they fill me in on what's been going on while I've been sleeping. Now, I cannot control that. None of us can, as far as I'm aware. We can't control who wakes up or who switches out in the middle of the night to any real degree. I mean, our protectors and our gatekeeper can all work together to make sure that nobody who is a danger to our body or our mental health can be out here. But we can't perfectly control our switching by any means. And that means that it can basically be a game of, who's going to be up today. Now, a lot of times I am the one to get up in the morning and be the one awake, and that's because I'm the primary caregiver for my daughter, and because my daughter has some special needs, she requires a little bit more supervision and attention. And that's really something that I'm very good at. I'm very geared to being her parent. So I tend to be the one who's up in the morning. But in the past, we've definitely had lots and lots and lots of different experiences with different people being the one who was up and out and doing things. So it can be a very interesting experience. Now, more on dreaming itself, that can be an interesting gateway to meeting others in our system for the first time. It can be the way that they communicate with us and let us know, hey, I'm here. Because when we're conscious, we're not necessarily able to communicate with some system members. But when we're sleeping, because of the way the brain is functioning during sleep, they're able to communicate with us more easily. And so I've had plenty of times where I talked to someone in a dream and, a couple days later I find out, oh, hey, that's one of our system members. I didn't know that. So it's always a very interesting experience. And as I said, we can switch several times in the night. So one person can be having a dream, and then somebody else is having a dream, and then a different person is having a dream. And that can be very interesting or very terrifying, depending on what they're dreaming about. And it also doesn't help that we have extremely realistic dreams. I don't know why that is. I have never been able to parse that out. But our system dreams extremely realistically. Like, there aren't signs in our dreams that we're dreaming. Like they say a lot of times in dreams you'll have missing fingers or extra fingers or weird things that let your brain know that you're dreaming. We don't have that. When we're dreaming, it feels real. It feels like real life, and it feels like it's actually happening. And that can sometimes be really cool if we're having a really fun dream, or really scary if we're having a nightmare. Now, thankfully, a lot of system members who stay up later or, like Berserker, don't need to sleep at all, they can try to switch out if one of us is having a nightmare to wake us up, wake up the body, so that the nightmare can stop. And this doesn't work 100% of the time, but thankfully it is something that has helped us on a few occasions when we were having a particularly scary nightmare. And that all comes down to the need for communication, because as a system, we have worked very, very hard to be able to communicate with each other and be heard. But because we are such a large system, a polyfragmented system of almost 1,000 members to my knowledge, there are some members that I simply cannot communicate with. I cannot reach them. And contrary to popular belief, not all of them take on roles in the outside world actively and do things out here, with stuff going on. But they certainly do have activities that they're doing inside the body and inside our system, and that includes when we're sleeping. And that can be difficult. That can mean that we don't necessarily get as much sleep as we need if system members that we're not in communication with are interrupting our sleep. And so it's all really a balancing act of trying to meet everybody's needs and trying to communicate with as many system members as possible, and still meeting the needs of our body at the same time. It's not easy. And it's not like we can just snap our fingers and say, oh, hey, I want to get a good night's sleep today. So-and-so and so-and-so and you over there, you all need to go do something else and, let our bodies sleep. It doesn't work like that. We can ask if we can communicate with different system members. We can say, hey, our body's really tired and it could really use some extra sleep. Can you guys make sure that you're not disrupting that tonight? And a lot of times they'll say, oh yeah, sure, we can do that. But when you can't communicate with everyone, there's going to be problems with getting enough sleep. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it answered your questions about dreaming and sleep. If you would like us to do another video on this topic, or if you have any more questions that you'd like us to answer in a video, please post them in the comments below, and we will make sure to answer any and all appropriate questions as soon as possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Have a good day, everybody.